Welcome to the Aha Moments Radio Show for the inspiration, education, and celebration of enlightened living worldwide with your host, Mariana Cooper, founder of Aha Moments International and AhaMomentsWorld.com. Tune in for the next hour and learn to trust your aha moments to lead the way to live a passionate and purposeful life. And now here's your host, Mari.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Aha Moments Radio Show for the inspiration, education, and celebration of enlightened living worldwide. I'm Mari, and happy Tuesday. We are in the thick of things here with Mercury in retrograde and a waning moon. So if you're feeling like your energy is really pulled in and sort of things are going up and down, up and down, up and down, and all that kind of stuff, you're in good company. I definitely am feeling it, and I've been getting a lot of readings with people who are saying the same thing. So just hang in there. We have another 12 days of this, and then it will be over. And I know you'll be as happy as I'll be that we can move on with the fall harvest season at a time that really is meant to be all about manifesting and getting all the things that you've been working so hard for over the year. So today's show is all about signs, symbols, and synchronicities. The question is this a sign? And I know that we all ask ourselves that question. You get some kind of, thing that happens and you say, wow, that seems to be linked to something that's been on my mind or something that's been concerning me or something that I desire, and I'd really like to know, is it real? Is it not real? Is it just in my head? Is it just in my imagination? And today we're going to talk all about that. We're going to break it down, talk about the differences between the signs and the symbol. What's the synchronicity versus what's just pure accident, coincidence? Are there accidents? That type of thing. And before we get into that, though, I wanted to give you a couple of announcements, a couple of things that are coming up. We do have a new AHA quiz. And actually, before I even get to the quiz, let me just give you the number to call in if you'd like to ask a question tonight. We'll get to some readings a little bit later on in the show. The call-in number is 347-215-9485. That's 347-215-9485. Okay. So anyway, we have this new quiz that we've had a few hundred people take since I sent it out to our list. Do you have a channeling contract quiz? And so, the last few shows we've been talking about channeling. We've been talking about having a personal guide for you to use for your own use as far as like your art or your writing or just life in general. But then a lot of you have contracts to actually channel and actually be kind of what I call a divine messenger for other people with the help of a partner, a spiritual partner, somebody who's a light being kind of thing. And so a lot of people were writing to me as we were getting underway with our big opening to channel course that's underway now. And a lot of people were writing to me and saying, well, how do I know if I have a channeling contract or not? Should I take this class? Should I not take the class? And so I came up with a quiz, and you can take this quiz for free at AhaMomentsWorld.com/channeling. That's with two N's, CHANNELING-contract-quiz. And channeling-contract-quiz. So that's free, and I think you'll really enjoy it. And there's also a brand new product goes along with that. It's only $27. I took $20 off the price. That's called Intro to Channeling. And at the end of the quiz, it gives you information of how to get a hold of that. But it's Intro to Channeling, and it's a really cool 2-part MP3 program. You can listen to it right away. And I go through all of the different nuances and the basics of channeling. So we've had a lot of people pick that up, and I'm getting really, really good reviews about it. So I'm excited about that, and I'm glad that you guys are finding that topic interesting. We'll be doing another big 7-week course starting in January, so you'll start to hear rumblings about that. And at the end of the quiz, you'll also have the ability to get on the waiting list for that class because it sold out pretty quickly. So that's that. And, I wanted to let you know about readings as well. We are booking all the way now into the end of October, beginning of November. If you'd like to get a private session with me, you can go to ahamomentsworld.com/by the sea. ahamomentsworld.com/by the sea. And all the information is there. And so one final announcement is I was actually asked to be as a part of the Best Psychic Directory, which is a directory of very reputable psychics. My friend Allison Hayes, the rock girl, is a part of it. John Holland is a part of it. James Von Prague is a part of it. And I'm very honored to have been asked to be part of it as well. BestPsychicDirectory.com. And I am doing a few instant readings there where you can actually call in and get me right on the phone. So basically, it's kind of hit or miss as far as when my time allows for me to be on the directory. But we all do this. We all take a little bit of time to do some of these readings for people who don't want to wait the length of time it takes for a regular scheduled reading. So if you want to go check that out, BestPsychicDirectory.com. Okay, so let's get into the content tonight. Again, if you want to ask a question, the number 347-215-9485. And Sam will be happy to chat with you and get you in the queue. By the way, Sam, because I know a lot of you on the lines are new to the show, Sam is my producer, and he will answer the line, and he will get your name, and then he sends it over to me so I know who's ready and waiting to get a call once we get started with that. Okay, so let's talk about signs, symbols, and synchronicities. So, in fact, I'm going to back up a little bit and talk about what I call the anatomy of an aha moment, because this is the context. Then we'll get into the signs. So, an aha moment obviously is an intuitive hit. It's when when your conscious mental mind connects with your infinite self, and you literally have awareness of a communication between yourself and that conscious waking state, your own personal, your mental mind. And so this process of the aha moment actually breaks down into 3 steps. The first step is that you receive energetic information through what we call the 4 clairs. And the 4 clairs are clairvoyance, clairaudience, claircognizance, and clairsentience. They're 4 energetic senses that overlay our physical senses. So clairvoyance is spiritual sight or energetic sight. Clairaudience is energetic hearing. Clairsentience is that sense of feeling in your solar plexus, down in your gut feeling. And claircognizance is knowing how to do something without quite knowing how to do it, feeling like you almost got a download of information. And so those are the 4 senses, 4 gateways where psychic, energetic information can come through to you. And we all have it. It's like the cat whiskers or, the butterfly's antenna. It's our way of connecting to that greater part of ourselves that is not in our body, but communicates with the part of ourselves that is in our body, within the physical vessel, within the mental mind, okay? So those 4 clairs, your energetic receptive centers, every single person is born with them, everyone. There is not one person who is skipped. And when you are attuned to them and you're aware of them, you will start to notice that you might get like a little sense of deja vu or a vision of something, or you might get a ringing in your ear. That would be clairaudience. The vision is clairvoyance. You might get that feeling, that a flutter in your tummy, or a knowing, almost like there's words around your center, like this knowing, this deep feeling about getting that deep feeling about something. Or you may get a download of stuff that you don't know how you know, but you just know. Like when you say, I know within every cell of my body I know that this is true, or I knew it was in every cell of my body. And so those four clairs are the core, the basics. And as children, if you have kids, they are so in tune with those four things. They really get it. As an adult, a lot of you, especially if you do have kids, you have that sixth sense, that intuition, mother's intuition, they call it, or dads call it my gut feeling, that kind of thing. But men are born with it, women are born with it, we all have it, just like we have sight, hearing, and all that other stuff. So the very first place that any psychic or spiritual or energetic information comes to you through is those four clairs. Always, 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 that's number one, step number one of the anatomy of the aha moment is the four clairs. Your energy, you receive an energetic, we call it an energetic hit. So you might get a little quick vision, you might hear a word. You might hear the word stop as you're about to step off a curb. That's clairaudience. You might start to hear lyrics of song, clairaudience as well. You might get a flash of a vision or a flash out of the corners of your eyes. So you get a peripheral vision, and that is your clairvoyance, okay? And so the next step of the anatomy of the aha moment is, the second step is the physical body backs up the energetic sense. It's its way of communicating. Mails in, literally tells you just got a message. Your body will react immediately after you get a psychic hit by goosebumps. You'll get a slight chill. You might get a slight hot flash. Like for me, I get a chill for truth and usually a happy truth. I get a flash of heat for something negative. If it's something negative or false, I get a flash of heat. I get goosebumps or a chill if it's truth. I know when I'm doing readings, sometimes I'll say, oh my gosh, I got goosebumps on my face, or I got goosebumps on my leg. And that's like really, 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 really true. And so you have to kind of watch your body, and when you get that feeling, you might get a sense of nausea if it's false. You might get, or someone's lying to you, you might get a little sense of nausea. You might get a sense of, elation, like this light feeling, this lift for truth. There's heat and there's cool, okay? And then your third sense, your third step of the aha moment, or the anatomy of the aha moment, is that your environment, your guides and intuitive abilities use your environment to provide you with signs, symbols, and synchronicities. So this is step 3 of the anatomy of the aha moment. And so the signs, the symbols, and synchronicities, first you've gotten this energetic hit, then you get the chills or you get a heat, you get some physiological sign that you are, that something came through, to make you pay attention and to connect to your mental mind. And then you get signs and symbols and synchronicities to back it up. So a sign might be that, like today I was thinking about my dad, and I was doing a lot of stuff today. I was doing tax stuff, I was doing bills, I was doing all kinds of just, the yucky kind of stuff of life. Let's say the functional stuff of life. And I was thinking about him a lot, and I went to the CVS before I got on the call today. And the kid who was helping me, his name was Ben. Well, that was my dad's name. And I said, there he is. There's Dad. And it's funny because on his name tag it said Ben, and then it said I can help. And my dad would always, always, always be my, my go-to guy to talk to anything business. And so it was really cool that I saw, so I saw Ben, when I got my house, live here. Well, the people who bought my house moved to the house next door. And so they left my house, and then I got this house, and then they moved to the house next door. Well, their cat gets very confused because he used to live here. And he comes to visit all the time. Well, his name is Ben, too. So when they told me his name was Ben, I said, oh, my gosh, this is the right house for me because that was my dad's name. So that's one of my signs, okay? My dad also was in the Army. So whenever I see an Army, it's usually backed up with, if I see his name, then I'll see something that has to do with the Army, like a recruiter sign, or something will come on the TV, or something with the military will show up in a magazine article or on somebody's bumper sticker or whatever. Those are signs that he's around, okay? Now, people could say it's a coincidence, but it really isn't, because now here's how you can tell if it's a coincidence or not. If you see something 3 times or 3 references to pointing you in that direction, okay, then it's your sign. So Doreen Virtue taught me that. I don't take credit for for everything, but Doreen Virtue always said if you see it 3 times, you may see that sign. Like I saw my dad's name 3 different times today. It was just kind of interesting. And so the next version of signs, another really good one, is repetitive numbers. Now, we've talked about this on the show before, and I've done YouTube videos and whatnot about it, but repetitive numbers are always, always, always a sign. 22, 222, or 2222. I had a bill today for $80.80. It was $80.80, and I was like, okay, that's good, because the 8 are the number for money. They're the infinity sign, and they're a sign for abundance and money. So when you see 8080, that's a really good sign that money is coming your way. So even though I was paying a bill, I was excited because I could turn it around and say, okay, you know what, money's coming back to fill in where this one went out. Other repetitive numbers, 222, means having faith and continuing on your path even if things don't look so great. It means to keep going. It's a really, really good sign. 1111 is the sign of the ascended masters, and that that there's guidance there for you and to pay attention. Is a number for shift, change, moving. I know that when I was preparing to move here, and I stayed at a friend's house for a month. I think you guys all know that by now. You know my La Jolla story. But when I was looking for places, that whole 30 days that I was in search of the house, I kept seeing on the clock and on the various places 5:55, and that whenever I see that number, it always means that I'm moving soon. And sure enough, the house showed up. But I was seeing that number for a bit right before I left New Jersey, but throughout this whole move, it was 5:55, 5:55. 444 is the number of the angels. So whenever you see 444, you'll see that your angels are around with you. Some other signs that your angels are with you, because this is a nice one. Seeing coins laying around. I remember being really stressed out, and I went to go to my car, and there's a whole bunch of coins sitting right at the door, and then like 2 days later, I got all this money, So seeing coins laying down on the ground, when you find a coin on the ground, just know that's a sign from on high, whether it's your angels or your fairies or your guardian spirit. Your Abundancia is the guardian for money. She's like the God, Abundancia, Goddess Fortuna. These are 2 goddesses who are like hold the cornucopia of gold. Goddess Fortuna is Lady Luck, like Lady Luck as in luck be a lady tonight, like the the Atlantic City or the casino. Good luck goddess is Goddess Fortuna. Abundancia is another one. When you see coins, you can just say, thank you, Abundancia. Thank you, Goddess Fortuna. Please keep it coming, and just honor that, because when they give you one sign and you recognize it, you'll see that you'll get more and more signs. You'll start to collect more and more money. Don't say, okay, well, I only got a penny, but I really need $1 million. Just, honor the penny like you would honor the million, and you'll see more and more and more come through. Okay, some other signs of angels: seeing feathers in unusual places. It's stunning, because I have seen feathers in the most just uncanny of places, like driving down the highway and sitting, and there's not a bird in sight, and a feather just drops down onto my windshield. Or I've actually been sitting and meditating, and then I open my eyes and there's a feather in my hand or right near my feet, and there's no birds around whatsoever. So the feathers can come in various and sundry ways, but that's a really good sign. So coins, feathers, seeing repetitive numbers, You can also get a waft of a smell or a scent of flowers, like a heavy scent of flowers. That's usually a sign of angel. I'll get heavy scent of roses or stargazer lilies, but a floral scent. And that's, again, working with your clairs, your energetic senses. And, there's others, but those are some of the good ones. Each flower, by the way, has an energetic meaning, and there are books out on that. There's a guy by the name of Cunningham. His last is Scott Cunningham, but he wrote several books, and they were very, very good for. He had different energy encyclopedias, and one of them is called the Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs, and it has all of the different meanings of the different flowers and different herbs. I think I might have said this on the show, or I don't remember where I said it because I've done so many shows, but and readings and whatnot. But when I came to California, my friend has a huge garden, and she grows artichokes amongst 25 other different things. And I had never had artichokes before, especially not steamed with the butter and the this and the that. She made them so well, and I just loved them. They were so good. And I remember this was back in, I guess, March when I first met her. And then once I went back to New Jersey, I couldn't stop buying artichokes everywhere I went. I was like, oh, my gosh, I have to get artichokes. And I kept calling her and texting her, like, how do I make these things? How do I make these things? And she would tell me over and over again, and I'd get it wrong every time. But I just got to the point where I just like to even have them in a bowl sitting on my counter. And once I got to California, I said, let me look up artichokes, because I'm always the one when I go over to her house for all the barbecues and different, parties that we throw. I always bring the artichoke dip or the artichoke whatever. And when I looked it up in the book, it was actually for psychic protection, which that's what artichokes are for. And it was like, that makes so much sense, because I was in such a vulnerable space, moving and, trying to find a place and getting out of the old place and into the new place, et cetera, et cetera. So if you're drawn to a particular fruit, vegetable, herbs, flower, take a look at what it means, because 9 times out of 10, there's a message there for you. Same thing with animals. There's when you see an animal in an unusual place, so there is let's say you see a fox, which means there's magic afoot. Let's say you see a butterfly, which is for transformation, or spider. People kill spiders all the time. You really want to not do that. Spiders are the web of creativity. They are really powerful when it comes to the energy of creation and creative things that will make you money. So in my yard, I have a really sweet courtyard in it. There was a spider. I mean, when I tell you guys, this thing was not a silver dollar. It was enormous. And it started to do its web. And I could see it out of my kitchen windows. And it was high, because I have these high palm trees and whatever. It was pretty high, but I could see it. And I was like, I bet you I'm going to have to duck when I go outside to get from one side of the courtyard to the other. And and of course, the first thing you think is, okay, dude, maybe you need to put your web somewhere else. I'm going to take this web down. Creature is he needs to eat too, or she. And so I left it, and it created the most magnificent, because it was such a big spider, so she made a very, very big web. And I let it stay, and eventually she moved on herself. But you know what? Especially if something like that is outside, you do not want to kill it unless it is flat out attacking you, okay? You want to allow them to be outside and just commune with them. Now, if they're in your space, in your bed, in your house, there's poisonous, that, okay, fine. But just look up the animals that you see that seem to be in unusual places or out of place, because that's usually some kind of message for you. And once I always say spirituality is not a practice, it's a lifestyle. And I really mean that. In fact, in my book, my book is coming out, I really focus on that, is living, I call it the AHA lifestyle. And it's really taking in everything in your environment and recognizing that everything has more than one meaning. It means more than face value. So the book that you want to get that has all the different meanings of the animal, it's called Animal Speak. Animal Speak, and it's by Ted Andrews. I know a lot of you are pretty advanced and you already have this book, but don't let it just collect dust. Let it, take it out, pay attention, because once your guides know that you're open and willing to pay attention and that you know how to interpret the signs they're sending, you'll get more of them, and you will see your dots in your life connecting over and over and over and over and over again. You'll see straight lines. You'll go from one dot to the next dot to the next dot to the next dot. You have to recognize that life, especially when you're a light worker, doesn't unfold like a GPS, where it gives you the entire route up front. What has to happen is you'll get a you are here dot, and then from that dot you'll move on to, once you take action on that first dot, then the next dot will come, and then the next dot will come, and then the next dot will come. Okay? So, but you have to step up and take action. A lot of people don't want to take action until they know for sure. Like when I do these readings, especially on this new directory that I'm on, a psychic directory, those go very, very quickly. And people just want their answers. And that's fine, but there's such a much bigger picture than, is he going to text me, and what day is he going to call me back, and, will I get, $1 million in the lottery, all these kinds of, those are like one-off. And what you want to do is see patterns, because life happens in patterns. If you look at the way nature is, you look at just like the leaves on a tree, you'll see different patterns that repeat themselves, right? And so, but there's a kind of a method to the madness, and you have to see that. So, as far as your symbols are concerned, so we got through the signs. As far as the symbols are concerned, like I said, for me, seeing things that have to do with the army, that's a symbol for me. You'll have your own symbols, and you want to start to ask yourself, what are my symbols? And you can even ask your angels, what symbols are good for, what's the symbol for yes, happy, positive for me? That I'm not alone, those kinds of symbols. And then what are the signs or symbols that would let me be warned? It's not, life isn't all sunshine, lollipops, and roses. There are times when we do need to be warned about things. We need kind of a heads up about things. For me, I'll have a prophetic dream. I'll have a dream, and it'll be like, I remember having a dream about a fender bender, like a car thing. And then when I shouldn't even tell the story on the radio, but I guess it's funny now because it's over. I was pulling into my driveway the very first time I drove into my house, and there was a contractor in the house that the realtors had let in, but they didn't tell me this contractor was fixing some of the stuff in the house. So as the garage door opened, I see this person in the house. And I end up, the car, turning into the garage, it's really tight. So I ended up hitting my car and crunching the bumper on the left side of my car as I was driving into the driveway. And I just, I was just like, seriously? Now, the night before, I had a dream that I had crunched my car, and it should have made me slow down, pay extra attention, but I was very distracted, and I was startled, and, blah, 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 and it takes to get in and out of my driveway. But that's how I, actually crunched it again the next day. It was really bad. But I finally figured it out. And so the point is, though, that your body and your guides are always working to help you, to forewarn you. And, not to be afraid. If you happen to be one of those people who's really, really open and you're dreaming about every tsunami and every earthquake and every murder and all that, then you can sort of scrunch that down and just say to your guides, please give me signs and symbols only for my personal use. I don't need to know about every global disaster, so I'm living in fear. And you can kind of filter, what you get psychically. I know that a lot of times people get excited about being somewhat psychic or very psychic, or opening up to those capacities that we actually all have, and you'll start to open up and get all kinds of things flowing through, and then it gets scary for people. So I'm not saying that, but you want a fair amount of within reason. You want to make sure that you do pay attention to the stuff that might be a little bit troublesome, so that you can head it off at the pass, which is what they're trying to help you. Okay, synchronicities, I'll take a little bit, and then we're going to start doing some readings. Again, the number to call in, I see we have quite a line already, is 347-215-9485. So, synchronicity. So this is when we have, they say, okay, is it a coincidence? And if you look at the word coincidence, if you hyphened it, so it's C-O and then incidence, so it's, two coinciding incidences that, seem to have something in common, right? Well, a synchronicity is actually when that higher energy is able to come in through the physical channel and present something to you, so that you pay attention, okay? And so it does feel like a coincidence, but it's really just to let you know very strongly that you're on the right track. So you might hear an interview, and it was about something that talking about with someone on the phone, those types of things, or some fun, easier ones. You'll be thinking, I want to go take my car to that new car wash, and then there's a coupon for it in the mail, kind of thing. But guys work like that. That's how life works. And essentially, what you are doing when you have a desire, like, I think I want to go use that car wash. You literally put an intention out, And if you think of having a basket on a string, and the string is on like a middle line, and you pull the basket over to your side of the line, and you put this desire. I would like to, I think I want to go to that fancy car wash. And then when you finish the thought, you actually let go of the basket. The basket on the string swings over to the other side through the veil, and your angel catches it, or your guide, or your ancestor, or the powers that be catch it, and they go, oh, let's see what's in here. Oh, she wants a car. She wants to get her car washed at that place. Oh, you know what? There's a coupon. You know what? Let's make sure that happens now. So she just let's support her. And then that coupon ends up in the mail as the basket swings back over to you. All day long, you're putting out intention. Okay? Now, the intentions are, when they get it on the other side of the veil, intentions are neutral. So if you're constantly saying, I don't know I'm going to pay my bill, or, I don't, this is just all too much for me, or everything bad keeps happening to me. You're putting that in the basket and swinging it over there as well, and all they can do is say, okay, and swing it back as so. So pay attention. Pay attention to what you put in that basket and what you swing back and forth. And pay attention, if you honor the synchronicities, that especially the fun ones, you say, oh, wow, thank you so much for the coupon, angels, yeah. You'll see things happen very, very, very quickly. My cousin was in town and last week, and we were having the darndest time finding parking space, and I finally said, of course. There was an art and wine tasting festival or something in town. And I said, oh, yeah, that's right. Parking angels, I need a space. I need it now. And literally, it was an open space, and I got right in. And she was like, wow, that's really cool, Mari. You're so magical. Oh, my God. Not so magical. It's just that I didn't ask. So, I was driving around, and I finally asked, and there it was. So I hope that helped. We could talk about it all day. There's all kinds of books out there. But for your spiritual library, you want to have Animal Speak by Ted Andrews. You want to have Angel Numbers by Dr. Doreen Virtue, which has the interpretation of every number out there, and, from 0 to 999. And then you want to have Scott Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. And that will be a good foundation for your library. Of course, do your research. There's plenty of other ones. There's encyclopedias of signs and all kinds of stuff that people get very, advanced in. But those are some of the really basic ones, and ones that if you could see, I pulled my books out for the show just so I could remember, and they're all yellow and tattered and folded pages and all that, chai tea stains, whatever. So they've traveled around with me quite a bit. Okay, so I think that is it for now as far as our content is concerned. I see you guys are all lined up on the line. I am going to take a quick commercial break, just so I can get some water. My voice is kind of bugging me. And then when we come back, we will get started with you on the reading. So don't hang up. Be there, because as soon as we come back from the break, we will get started right away with readings. All right. So I'm Mari. You're listening to the Aha Moments radio show, and we'll be right back.
Are you at a crossroads in your life, facing big decisions about your life purpose, business, relationships, or other major issues? Are you wondering why you may be delayed in getting what you want? Or if you have special guides who are helping you? Then investing in a private intuitive reading with Mari is just what you need. As a third-generation spiritual intuitive, Mari has worked with thousands of clients over the past 18 years. During your private session, you will learn who your guides are, receive insight on the core issues that need attention, and get new perspective, clarity, and inspiration on what to do next. To register, go to www.ahamomentsinc.com and click on the Work with Mari tab to get all of the details. There are a limited number of spots each month, so go to www.ahamomentsinc.com for yours now.
Step back in time to the very beginning, before life as we know it existed. Stones have been on this earth since before the inception of man. They are keepers of ancient wisdom and messages. Tap into the profound wisdom of stones and let your journey begin at the Rock Girl Sacred Stone School. Let the Rock Girl take you back to those ancient days to learn firsthand the language and the secrets of stones. The Rock Girl will teach you how to develop your very own technique of communicating with them, allowing you to embark on your own path of self-discovery. Courses include Reiki, psychic development, chakra balancing and auric cleansing, hands-on healing, and more. Visit sacredstoneschool.com for classes and workshops taught exclusively by the Rock Girl of therockgirl.com.
The Aha Moments radio show, and today we're talking all about signs, symbols, and synchronicities. And so we finished that part of it, and now we're going to get into some readings. So listen up, please, so we don't miss you when we open the line. The first person up for a reading is Julie from, I think that's Minnesota. Hi, Julie. Did I get you?
Yep, I'm here.
Hi,
Can you hear me?
How are you?
Hi.
Yes,
I'm great. Thanks for taking my call.
Oh, you're welcome. What's your question?
Well, my question, I'm wondering if she can get any information regarding either employment or increase in income coming in. That seems to be
do you have a specific question?
Basically finding a job. What is my next step in moving in the direction of finding the job that is going to be the one I really like. The right one, you know.
So the word is that the first word that came up is research, because it feels like your foot is on the gas and the brake at the same time. There's a part of you that wants the next job, but there's another part of you that really doesn't. And and so there's this dutiful side of you that says, you know, I should have this job, and the other part of you that's kind of outgrown that and doesn't want a job to define who you are anymore. So you have two tracks to work on here. The first is to work on who am I, without the title, without the job, and is that me okay? I know when I personally left corporate America, I had a huge high-octane job and titles and budgets, and, you know, I was the go-to person, and, you know, conferences would call me to speak and all that kind of stuff. And when I walked away from all of that, I was just Mari. I mean, I dropped a whole syllable, 2 syllables off my name. My last name just Mari. I don't want to. And it was a really big growth experience. People had to sort of adjust to, well, okay, so who are you? You know, who are you with? What do you do? And I'm like, I'm Mari, you know. And today I do this, and tomorrow I'll do that. So that's a part that you want to get close to for yourself, because that's your defining factor. Once you start to really get that more of that personal self-definition, which I think you're already on track to, then you can separate out the job part, so it doesn't have to mean so much. Because it seems to be 2 jobs that you need to have. One is the one where you have your transferable skills are actually used because it's easy to make money that way. Then the other is more exploratory into the thing that you really want to do, but you feel you can't do because you won't make enough money from yet. So you have 2 tracks to go on. One is a developmental track, and the other is a pay the bills track. If you can separate the 2 out, you won't get so frustrated, because on one minute you're saying, but I don't want to do that kind of work anymore, but I have to pay my bills. But I want to do this, but I don't know enough, and I don't think it could pay the bills. You're right.
That's exactly it right there. Yep.
You need the time. So, you know, I know for me, I'm going in the television, radio, you know, more of the show stuff. They'll do readings, you know, and it won't be forever, you know. And so, but you still have to have 2 tracks, because that's just how entrepreneurs, or, you know, even if you don't choose an entrepreneurial direction now, you know, because you can pay your bills, it feels like you're going into more of an entrepreneurial direction over the next, you know, 1 to 5 years. It's going to be a slow build, but allow yourself to be educated. Now, here's the other thing, and then I have to get on to the next caller. When you're looking for this new job, I want you to really do some research before you do it into what you're most passionate about and where you want that new direction to be, and find the industry, whatever that industry is. Try your best to get your meantime money job to be in the industry of where you're going. Okay? Because what it'll do is it'll plop you in with your best skills into that new direction, and you'll be able to stick with it longer without feeling like it's taking away from your true love.
Okay? That makes sense.
So, like, let's say you know how to do marketing, but your passion is horses. Maybe you'll go and do marketing for the horse manufacturer who makes, you know, saddles for the jumpers or something. You know what I mean? So you're taking the marketing skills, but you're putting it in the arena of where you want to go. That is the key for longevity when you're developing an entrepreneurial or a, you know, make my heart sing track that can't afford to pay you yet. Does that make sense?
That makes total sense. Yes. Thank you. Very, very much.
You are so welcome. You are so welcome. Have a great night. Okay, next we have Kim from Louisiana. Hi, Kim. Oh, wait, did we lose her? Okay. Ola from California. Hi there. How are you? And is that your name, good. Ola? Oh, yes. Okay, cool. Yes. I just didn't want to shorten it.
Thanks for taking my call. I was just wondering if you see me having the opportunity to make more money at my current job. I'm trying to get clients on my own, but right now I'm working through a company, so I don't make as much money as I could. So wondering if you see a future with my current company. I don't know if that makes
Your
sense.
energy is so low with this company. You can barely pronounce that. Do you realize that?
I'm sorry?
Like, your energy is very low with the company that you're in right now.
Okay.
It feels like you have far outgrown that job. Like, far outgrown it. And it feels more to me like you're going to move on to something else. I would say in the first quarter of next year, by March, I'd be very surprised if you were at the same place. And if you allow yourself to open up a bit more, look at some of the competitive companies, because you have something in there that they would want, and you would be paid more going to a company that wants what you've got than you will incremental dollars where you are. It doesn't feel like there's incremental dollars to give you more where you are.
Right. Yeah, and my contract,
especially not the jump you want, especially not the jump that you deserve and that you want. So I would do like a full out, as they say, worldwide search. Have you thought of relocating or doing any kind of work overseas? Because it feels like there's some opportunity that's going to come up in Europe. I don't know if it's a consulting contract, but they're saying Paris. So you might want to keep your eye out on that.
Okay. Oh, I do holistic work, so I guess I can go anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I hope that helps. I'm going to have to jump on to the next person, but keep your eyes peeled and go, get the resume dusted off and look. First quarter of next year, you're going to see a big shift, and there'll be a lot more money for you.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Have a great night. Okay, next we have Jennifer in Tennessee. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm good.
Good. What's the question?
I was calling to, I think clairvoyance is one of my strongest clairs, and I get flashes that go rather quickly, and I can't seem to slow them down long enough to make sense of it or understand it until it comes around, in real life time, and then it feels like it was just deja vu. Even though I know I've had a vision of it, I just couldn't slow it down at the time to make it make sense. Yep.
So the question is, how do you slow it down? Is that your question?
Yes.
Okay, so, or
I was going to say, is there anything that I could do to, I guess, develop it further? I'm guessing it's from a lack of use. I don't know.
Well, two things. One is drinking water. Water is an amplifier of energy. So
my goodness,
it'll help
funny
you.
You said that because I always get extremely thirsty after.
Yeah, drinking water is the big amplifier for clarity in any of your clairs, but especially clairvoyance, because water is an amplifier. Being near a body of water will help you tremendously. I can't tell you how many times I've gone out to the beach, whether it was on the East Coast or West Coast, and everything that was bothering me when I was in the house just came in clear. Boom, 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 boom. Like the vision was super clear. I mean, to the point where I developed whole new products and things just sitting there, The other way to amplify is to anything where you're going to do deep breathing, any kind of breath work will help a lot, because energetic information travels on the molecules of oxygen. So if you happen to breathe shallow or not, or hold your breath or anything, it shuts down your ability to interpret and perceive your intuitive senses, the four clairs. So doing I like Tai Chi better than yoga, although yoga, of course, uses a tremendous amount of breath work, but yoga, there's a lot of focusing on poses and all that. In Tai Chi, I know they have those different movements, but there's more flow, because there's more full body movement. But regardless of that, meditation, Tai Chi, yoga, anything that's going to, even getting on a treadmill, going for a walk, swimming, anything that's going to cause you to breathe deeply and be near water, so doing, walks near a body of water of some sort will help a lot. And I hope that helps you. It'll get stronger. Also with your, with your focus.
Okay.
All right,
thank
my dear.
you.
You're so welcome. Have a great night. No problem. And her dog agreed with me. Yay. Okay, next we have Lee in Tennessee. Oh, wait. Is she back? Okay, there it is. Hi, Lee.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. Well, I guess my question is, I want to know what I can do to, I guess, enhance all of the things that you're talking about. I see the signs and the symbols and the synchronicity, and I just kind of want to figure out how to use these things to benefit myself, so that I'm not getting caught up in situations, or just to help further my life so that I can prosper better, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
That makes any sense.
I think you need a tool that can kind of start to connect the dots for you. And I think one of the best things you can do is, there's two things. One is to pick a time each day that you're going to focus on this work. So for me, it's, between 3 and 6 in the morning, which is really pretty annoying, but that's just what it is. When I'm awakened out of my sleep, and that's when my guides know they can get me, and they've been doing that to me for, 15, 20 years now. But for you, it might be another time of day. It might be before you go to sleep. But you need to give yourself at least a half-hour window each day that you're going to devote to this work, and use your journal as the gateway. Eventually, you'll be able to use other things, but the journaling, if you write your question down or your questions for the day down in the journal, and then you just write about your hunches, almost like you're imagining it, you'll start to get wisdoms. Essentially, you're opening up that channeling a bit, so that you can start to receive some more direction. But you need to give yourself a specific time each day, a specific notebook, and specific direct, focus on that. One of the books I will recommend to you, because I know we're short on time, and you asked me a question that would require a whole 20-week course to answer. One of the books I would suggest is The Lightworker's Way by Doreen Virtue. That's a very, very good, very classic book. It's been around for, I don't know, she probably wrote that book 15 years ago, but it's very evergreen information, and she really talks about how to connect the dots. And I think that's what you're looking for now, because it feels like you've been collecting a lot of information, and now it's like, okay, so how do I, sit down and actually operationalize it? She's really good with that in there.
I have been working on this for a while. I feel really drawn to channeling and automatic writing, but I don't feel prepared to do that right now. Energy-wise, I don't know if you understand that, but it just feels like you really need to be extra protected when you do something like that.
You actually don't need to be extra protected at all. You're actually more protected when you do it than when you don't, because you're pulling in your own personal guide. So no, you don't need to be more protected. But if you should jump on the waiting list for our next channeling class, because we go through all of that and we gradually open up, so you'll learn all the nuances of that. But you can just go on ahamomentsworld.com/channel, and you can join the waiting list. Did you take the quiz?
No, I haven't.
Channeling contract quiz. Yep, take the channeling contract quiz. But honestly, I'm going to have to jump because I have to get to the next person. But it's in the description of the show on blogtalkradio.com/aha moment. It's on the link is there, and I would highly suggest that you just need, I think, one course, and you'd be kind of feeling a lot better. And as far as the protection part, you're actually, with the right training, more protected channeling than not. That's for sure. Absolutely, hands down. So
right,
take that little wall down. Yeah, your energy just went whoosh. Like, yes. Why would you have to go from the guy that you signed up to be with?
I don't know. Someone told me that, and I've just
they're wrong.
Been going with it.
Yep, listen to me. Don't listen to them.
Okay.
Oh, I'm just kidding. Anyway, I hope that helps. And you have a good night. Thanks so much for calling in. Make sure you take the quiz. Okay, sweetie. Have a good one. Okay. Oh, boy. All right. So next, I believe we have, now, Sam, you have one thing, and I'm seeing something else on the board. Laura in New Jersey. Hi, Laura.
Hi. Thanks for taking my call.
Oh, you're welcome. What's your question?
I was wondering if you see me getting a permanent job anytime soon, and if so, anything you could tell me about it?
Do you want a permanent job?
Yeah, I mean, I do, because it's stability, and I want something that's going to allow me to purchase my home and settle down.
Okay. Do you do consulting work now or contract work?
I do, yes.
Okay. Because it's feeling like there's one more round of that, and then in the spring, like April time frame, that's when they're saying more of that permanent job will come through. It feels like around January 15th, somewhere between January 15th and January 20th, you're going to get notification of some kind of new contract, and that would be the thing that's going to take you into that permanent thing.
So would it be like a temp to perm position then?
Yeah, it feels that way. It feels more of a contractor to permanent. Yep.
Okay.
As long as you want it.
As long as I want it.
It feels to me that you kind of don't. You kind of want to make a change, but you feel like there's this
really
thing that you need to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I do, but it's like I really want. It's an end. It's a mean to an end, because I really want my house, and I don't know what else to do besides what I do for a living to get that house, because that's really what I want.
Yeah, so focus on getting the house and being in the house and owning the house. Not even getting the house. Focus on, I live in this house, I own this house. See yourself with the title of the house. Let the universe take care of how you get that house, because that house could be gifted to you. There's a lot of different ways you can end up with that house besides taking a job that you don't like. For, as a means to the end energy usually falls short of being able to pay for what you want. So your energy and your kind of creative energy is very, very shallow right now. It's not reading. So what you want to do is kind of get your engines your passion engines revving by starting to focus on something that you really love. Yes, you'll get the contracting job, and yes, you'll make money, and yes, it can turn into a permanent thing, and so you can get a mortgage and all that. You can create that for sure. But what will accelerate that and exceed that is if you still give that passionate part of you some voice. And that's the next step for you. So you can do both. Look for that contracting job. I do think you'll have something new in January, even if you're working on something else right now. And I do think by April you'll have an opportunity. But if you really, really, really want to accelerate getting that house, find some passion again.
Okay.
You might want to take the book. There's a book. The show's ending. Sam's going to kill me. There's a book called The Passion Test, and it's excellent. And you might want to go get a copy. The Janet Attwood, Atwood. Take a look at that, play with that, and then still go for your contracting thing, but make a line in the sand that you want to live a happy and passionate life, and you'll get the house quicker without shackling yourself to something that you're not that interested in just to keep a mortgage. That's what that's the direction.
If it were a job